No one deserves a winner more than Knick fans.
Free agency crazy night last night. Not for the Knicks though, but we did make a signing. We brought in Alec Burks. Let's talk about him a bit and our approach to day 2 of free agency.
Take note.
Big Beach! We're here.
My man Alec Burks.
It's different this time.
What's up, guys? Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Terry and Trey. First time here in Knicks news. Make sure to subscribe, give the video a like. Just me right now. We're going to talk about Alec Burks really quickly in the first day of free agency for the Knicks. Obviously, a lot of money being spent across the league. A lot of players on some massive contracts. That Marcus Morris deal, I'm surprised by just the length and the number. Davis Bertans got a pretty nice bag as well. A lot of players really got paid. I'm going to get more into that as time goes on because it reminds me of the 2016 free agency when we saw the cap jump and we saw a lot of players get ridiculous contracts. Timofey Mozgov, Joakim Noah, which we're still paying, by the way. So obviously, the Knicks took a different approach, one that I kind of like, and we're going to get into it. But I want to focus on Alec Burks right now. So Alec Burks comes in for $6 million, 1-year deal. I have to say, this is an incredible deal when you consider what's been being spent. Burks was a really solid contributor last year for both Philadelphia and Golden State. Played well in the playoffs. This is a solid vet, a guy who knows his role, can shoot, does all the little things right. And is going to be a good mentor for the kids. Also short deal, so not really hurting us, but someone that we could also flip at the deadline, kind of reminding me of Marcus Morris, but much, much cheaper. Alec Burks will get us a first-round pick if we feel like we need to trade him. 100%. I'm sure even looking back at, the deal, he came in from Utah. That's where he was drafted under Walt Perrin, our assistant GM, our new assistant GM. He, was back at Utah when they brought him in. Johnny Bryant, assistant coach, worked with him heavily in Utah, so there's that familiarity again. If you look at the Knicks' entire offseason, it's been all about familiarity, whether it's CAA, Kentucky, or now Jazz. We made that trade with the Jazz for Ed Davis and getting some picks, and now we have Burks coming in. So that's a whole different video and another debate, because that's something that can go either way. It can be good or bad depending on how it works out. Obviously, we've had issues with CAA in the past, but right now I see the approach. I'm not too against it. So with Burks, what are we getting? We're getting a solid guy, like I said, who can hit the 3-ball. Let's look at his stats from last year and kind of see where he's been. All right, so over the course of his career, Alec Burks, just a solid guy. 10.3 points per game, 3.2 rebounds per game, 1.9 assists. He shoots 80% from the line, 36 from deep, and 42 from the field. Pretty healthy guy, plays, most of the games all season long. Now, obviously, he's been much better recently. Looking at his last season, in total, he averaged 15 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2.9 assists. He shot 39% from deep, which is quite good. He shot 89% from the line and 42% from the field. So he is someone who is going to be a solid shooter. We need shooting. We always need shooting. He's going to fill in at that 2-3 spot. He can ball handle a little bit in Philly. He took over some ball handling duties at times and kind of ran the offense, solidly well. But just another solid vet to put around the kids. Really reminds me in a way of the Courtney Lee signing from 2016, except, Courtney Lee got 4 years, $12 million per year to give him $48 million. With Burks, obviously 1 year, $6 million. I really like that deal. That's a good deal. Obviously for the Knicks, the rumors heading into the Friday and the weekend were a lot bigger rumors. We're talking Gordon Hayward, we're talking Fred VanVleet, etc. Now, Gordon Hayward is locked into this complicated sign-and trade with Indiana, and it feels like Danny Ainge is just kind of trying to call Indiana's bluff. There's a lot to unpack there. We're kind of like the side chick. We're the 13-minute. Where basically we're a threat to Boston to get something done because Hayward could just come to us for free. But also, we're there to maybe facilitate something. That's the thing. We're the only team left in the league with cap space now, basically. $31 million. So we can still help things happen, move things along. So we'll see how it goes on. Now, for the overall free agency, obviously, signings like this aren't exciting and they can even feel disappointing, right? Especially when you're hearing bigger names being bandied about and you're excited about it. Now, even I fall into it. Of course, I'm excited at the prospect of maybe winning games for once and having the Knicks in the playoffs. But I think one thing that's important to remember is looking long term at the Knicks is that this is a new regime. As much as we feel the wounds and the scars from 2015 on, if you want to, look at that era, 2014, going back to the Bargnani trade. It feels like we've been on this 6-year rebuild that hasn't gone anywhere, and that is true for the Knicks as a franchise. But for this front office, right, barring Scott Perry, but this front office, which is all new coach, new staff, as much as they feel that pressure to turn around and show us a winner kind of quickly, they are also in the first year of the job, the first couple months of the job, right? So they should not feel that they have to get everything done right now. And this free agent market, even before COVID and everything, was always going to be a weaker market. 2021 was always the year, even if the Steve Mills regime had stayed, and thank God Steve Mills is gone. Just want to say that there. Because Steve Mills would have spent so much money last night. And yeah, so looking back just at, the free agency of 2021, which has been a focus for many years. Remember, that is not just, more free agents, better free agents. That is also a much better draft where we have multiple picks and we can make a lot of things happen. So I understand why we want to maintain our flexibility during this period of time, because we can get into the trade deadline and get into next season and really start making some moves that are going to push us to that next level. So I understand the frustration that we're not signing bigger names, but I would say, given some of these deals we're seeing, aren't you happy that we're not? With 31 million left, we are kind of a front runner across the league for facilitating moves or even bringing in someone taking on bad contracts, which is something I wanted them to do last year. So let's see how day 2 plays out. Fred VanVleet is taking meetings in Chicago. Now, I feel like he's probably just going back to Toronto anyway. I think he wants to just experience free agency. He's taking meetings in Chicago today, which will be Saturday. So we'll see. I think Walt Perrin actually lives in Chicago, I believe. I think he works remotely, and I know he kind of did that for the Jazz as well. So I'm not sure if he's meeting with him, what's going on there. But maybe we get a meeting with Fred VanVleet. Obviously, the Hayward deal, I wouldn't bank on it too much because it still feels like Indiana's going to make it happen at the end. But I do think you're going to see some other shrewd signings today. I also think you're going to see a move for a veteran point guard. I have a feeling we're going to see Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank Ntilikina actually get maybe another chance to play this year. But we do get a vet in, whether it's like George Hill or DJ Augustine, someone who can shoot, someone who can run the offense and be solid and get the guys in the positions they need to be to succeed. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, this can all go crazy. John Wall requested a trade last night. I want no parts of that deal. Even though he's younger than Westbrook, he ruptured his Achilles. This isn't like an ACL injury, which is bad enough. The Achilles is really rough, and his contract is just as bad. So I'm not really sure about that one. But I do really trust this front office. I really trust Leon Rose, man. I want to play this clip of Leon Rose talking to Mike Breen to end this episode, because I feel like what he says here just shows you his approach and shows you his commitment to it. Listen, we've heard words from everyone, and we've all been duped. But listen to Leon here and tell me you don't believe it.
No one deserves a winner more than Knick fans. I know it's been tough, but my pledge is we are going to work tirelessly. We are going to do business. We are going to be prudent. We're going to be creative. And we're going to be in play in every aspect, the draft, trades, free agency, and we're going to build this the right way to bring you a winner.